Welcome to this DDI CADcast, What's New series. I'm Michael Nolte. Today we're going to be covering what's new in SOLIDWORKS Electrical 3D. There's only a couple items that they added this release for the 3D portion of it. Besides, we do also get the rights manager that's not listed here in this slide. But let's go and take a look. Alright, before we get to the first item, I do want to kind of go over some of the minor changes they did in the 3D environment. So I'm going to go to add-ins here, pick out the SOLIDWORKS Electrical add-in. Notice that they do give you total load time on the add-ins for 15 now, so it gives you an idea of how long it takes for that to load. And if you have the rights manager turned on, it is going to ask you for a login. If you've got SOLIDWORKS Electrical set to launch every time SOLIDWORKS launches, you're going to get this screen when you start up SOLIDWORKS. So we're going to say OK there. Next thing it's going to do, load up your task pane over there on the right. I'll pin that open for the moment. The other thing you'll notice is there is no SOLIDWORKS Electrical going across the top there. It's actually in the Tools menu now. So Tools, then SOLIDWORKS Electrical, and then you start seeing all the items that we're used to. So we'll go and grab the project manager. Still tells you if something's being worked on somebody else. So we'll go and open that up. And once again, we actually do get the library over on the right there. So we'll go and open one of them here, and then we'll go into the next item here, or the first item. Alright, so we get our components tree over on the left there. Notice the new icons there for the connectors. Also notice the infinity or the lazy 8 there for permanent items that have been right-clicked over and set as permanent, so that even if you delete the symbol on the schematic, they don't disappear from the project. A couple other items, they're still doing the EW path. So I'm going to show that just so you can see that we're wanting that wire to go into the box there. Another method or another way of doing your paths, which you can do this in the older versions, but I actually added a EW path within the part file. So I have one EW path in the door, another in the assembly, and that's where my wires are going to adhere to. Alright, so let's go and take a look at routing analysis. So routing analysis actually is just an extra feature that goes when we do the route wires. So go and go into the route wires. You'll see that there's this extra checkbox for show errors, so I'm going to leave that on. I'm just going to go with the normal settings here, and I'll go and hit OK. And let it grind through and add the wires in there. This is a pretty small project, so it'll actually go pretty quick with not a whole lot of components and stuff. Again, those the ducts that are in the back there also have EW path sketches in them as well, just to make it easier for the wires to adhere to location there. It'll be done here in a moment. Alright, so here's the routing analysis. So it basically comes back and tells us what items have not been inserted. It gives us the location or the component reference there. If I go into missing connection points, I'll go and just double click on one of them here, and you'll see that it actually takes us to that component. So it's a great way of seeing what's going on with any of the items. So we have manufacturer parts not inserted, missing connection points invalid, connection points, 3D missing part origins. We'll take a look at that. Origin destination of cables. Again, I haven't run any cables yet. And then also wrong wire properties. Okay. So kind of a quick little convenient little report. It also gives us the ability of exporting that from the analysis there too. So that's a real handy feature. It opens up into a log file, and then we can come back and reference it later. Alright, so for this last section of the SOLIDWORKS Electrical 3D 2015, what's new? the associate component to part or assembly. And I guess I haven't fully explored the possibilities of this, but essentially I have a part in my assembly tree. This is actually an assembly of one of the locations. So again, I went to Tools, SOLIDWORKS Electrical, down to Process, and did SOLIDWORKS Cabinet Layout. And again, that's where we get the dialog for all the different electrical assemblies that we can create, one for each location. So that's what this assembly is. I dropped a part that has connection points on it, and I'm going to go and do the associate here. So I'm going to right click over T1, or the part in T1, to associate it. And let me pan up so you can see it in the tree. So I pick that out of the tree, and I go and hit OK. It's going to ask if I want to associate with the part or associate with the assembly. If I do the associate with assembly and I route wires, it won't actually find it. In fact, I've had better luck not picking the subassembly altogether. I've had better luck if I do a right click, say associate, and then graphically pick the part that's within that subassembly, and then hit OK. We'll see that it's checked, and I'll jump over to the assembly tree. And after a quick rebuild, so Control Q, you'll see that the component mark or component reference shows up at the end of the name, opposed to at the beginning. So I'm actually seeing a different location there. But because I picked it graphically, and I go route wires and let it do its thing, it'll go and route the wires. So if you do pick something, if you do pick a subassembly, it'll ask you, do you want to do part or subassembly? And again, I still find it better to pick it graphically rather than to pick it out of the tree, just so it associates cleanly, and your wires still get routed correctly. And we'll let it finish here just so we can see the wires. And bear with me here. Alright, so finished. And we can see, even though that part is in a subassembly or electrical subassembly, it does still route the wires there. So that would be the end of this section. Here's a quick recap of the two items that we covered for the SOLIDWORKS Electrical 3D, what's new for 2015. Nothing too fancy with it. If you haven't subscribed already, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, so youtube.com/ddicad.com, and definitely check out our tech blog at ddicad.com/tech center. Thanks, and have a great day.